Hello everyone, Dr. Jason West. We're going to talk about a topic that I see every single day in the office and get asked about all the time, and that is, what do you do about headaches? Well, the answer to that is really the answer to what type of headache is it. Is it a migraine headache? Is it a hormone headache? Is it an allergy headache? Is it a cluster headache? Is it a tension headache? Is it a stress headache? Is it a food sensitivity headache? Is it a blood sugar headache? And so there's all these different causes for headaches. And so really what you have to do is you have to turn into a Sherlock Holmes and figure out what is the cause, because if you can figure what that is, man, you've got some really, really neat tools and treatment options. So the first place I like to start with headaches is blood sugar. Now, there is something that I call a nervoglycopenia-induced headache. And that's the fancy schmancy way of saying that if your blood sugar drops, the nerves fail. You see, doctors had to appear smart, so we invent this language that usually takes about 4 years to figure out what we're talking about. But what that means, again, is if your blood sugar gets low, the nerves fail. And so this is so important to pay attention to your diet and what your triggers are, because if your pancreas is functioning too well, what happens is the fuel hits your system, your body kicks in, it uses up the fuel, the blood sugar drops, the nerves freak out. And I've seen so many headaches, anxiety, depression do well when you regulate and you treat blood sugar. So the way to treat blood sugar is pretend that your body has a fire, and what happens is if you want to make a big flare up, you throw some gasoline on the fire, and that's really what sugar is. You throw sugar on the fire, you get this big flare up, but then it dies down. If you want the fire to really do well, what happens is you put a big piece of a log or a coal on the fire so that you get sustained energy release, and that's your protein. So make sure that you're eating consistently. I've seen so many headaches improve by doing this. Now, that's not the only reason for the cause of headaches, and it's not the only solution, but do that first. Put your body on a schedule, eat consistently, 4 to 6 meals a day. That's my favorite recommendation. Now, another thing that I see a lot of improvement for is what's called cervicogenic headache, which means that you have a compressed nerve in your neck. Usually it's the lesser occipital nerve. It comes out over here, goes up behind the ear. There's another nerve that's kind of partnering, runs parallel with that. And sometimes it can go right behind the eye. And so what happens is people say, well, I got pain back here and I've got eye pain. It's a cervicogenic headache. And I found that a really easy chiropractic adjustment really helps with cervical-related headaches. It also seems to help with stress headaches. So if you're getting pain behind the eye or up into the temple, consider a chiropractic adjustment. I've seen really good outcomes with that. Now, there's a lot of women that get hormonal headaches around their cycle time. What happens is that there's a little gland in between your eyes, in between your ears, called the pituitary gland. It sits in a little bowl called the sella turcica, which means the Turkish saddle. And what happens is that that gland gets overworked with hormones. It tries to enlarge, expand. There's no place to go. It causes headaches. And some nutritional support for the pituitary gland really helps with those hormonal headaches. Now, obviously with stress headaches, what you want to do is eliminate stress, and guess what? There's no magic treatment or magic cure, lotion or potion really that gets rid of stress, but there's always a stress outlet. So for some people it's exercise, some people it's sleep, some people it's meditation or prayer. And I think it's really important when it comes to stress, to manage the stress is to put whatever is your outlet on your schedule and treat it like it's your most important thing of the day. So for me, how I like to deal with stress is to do nothing. And when I first started doing that, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm feeling lazy. I shouldn't be doing this. But really, when I do nothing is I go into a room and I just let my mind free associate. I think, I meditate. I usually say a prayer. I'll write some thoughts down. And that's really meditation. And I categorized it for years as doing nothing. But actually, it's a really important way to self-connect. I've seen some amazing results with journaling. That's probably my most favorite way to tell people to deal with stress is to journal your thoughts. You can connect your right side of the brain and your left side of the brain through the corpus callosum, and you start to write stuff down and communicate with yourself. It's amazing for stress. Now, there's a really neat treatment that my great-grandfather taught my grandpa, my grandfather taught my dad taught me, is to do something called Endonasal Therapy. Now, when I describe this to people, they always look at me like I'm crazy or from a different planet, because it sounds weird, but it has amazing outcomes. You take a blood pressure cuff, you put a little finger cot on it, you tie the finger cot onto the end of the blood pressure cuff. You gently insert it straight down into the nose, you have the patient take a deep breath, and you inflate the balloon. It's a really fast treatment, and what it does is it makes your cranial sutures, and I'm exaggerating, gap just a little bit. It's amazing for what it does for headaches. It's like a brain adjustment, or it's a cranial therapy. It's really good for hormone headaches, pituitary headaches, allergic headaches, sinusitis headaches, cervicogenic headaches. And as weird as it sounds, it's one of the most requested procedures that we do in the office. It's amazing for how it helps to clear up the brain. And my most beneficial treatments that I do for headaches is when we do all three. When we do a really easy adjustment, when we do the endonasal treatment, and the third one I'm excited to tell you about is the neurotherapy. Now, what neurotherapy is, it's a way to reset your brain function. And it's a way to reset your headaches, your nerves, because they get a memory in them that you're hurting all the time. And then the nerves thinks that that's normal. And it's like this catch-22 cycle where it's just going over and over again. If your body was a computer or your head was a computer, and we called up tech support, we said, what do we do for this? Tech support's going to say, turn everything off, turn it back on. So there's a way to reset headache pain by taking a syringe, a little tiny needle, and going around the widest circumference of the head, under the acupuncture points and the nerve control points. It's really superficial. It looks like little mosquito bites. And you do these little tiny blebs, just a little bit of the medicine in there. The medicine is called Procaine, which is a glycolized ester of paraminobenzoic acid, which is a mouthful. But what it means is it's a sugar-fied B vitamin. And what it does is it makes your nerves associated with headaches open, close, and reboot. So adjustment, stress management, endonasal therapy, and the neurotherapy for the head, I've been able to help a lot of different headaches. If you add that to your lifestyle of fueling your body correctly, making sure that your blood sugar's in range, you can balance out your hormones by doing some hormone testing, and then when you get everything lined up for the body, we have a really good opportunity to put everything back in harmony and the headaches go away. Now, that doesn't happen with everybody, but a lot of the people it does, and a lot of headaches you can get to resolve and go away.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you'd like more information, education, or want to work with us, head over to bestmedicaloptions.com. And if you want to help to reach, teach, and heal the world, leave a comment, like, share it with someone that you love. It may seem like an impossible task, but those that are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do.